Sunday, not Saturday. Don't get confused. I did miss it yesterday. It's been a crazy last week. Some graduations. My daughters were involved in some graduations, but it is Sunday and we are live. SFMF. God bless everyone. Hopefully you went to church today. We're watching ours online. So good early evening, everyone. A couple of different topics tonight. This time of year, some recommendations from some comments. And the first topic we're going to talk about is first deployment traditions. My daughter asked me about that. And being a Marine, going on a deployment soon, she probably wants to know what kind of traditions that she's going to have to go through. So once again, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tell your friends and neighbors. And, you know, I'm going to ask you a few times, what are you drinking? You can see in my cup, that's coffee. I talked to somebody over the weekend, and he said, what's really in your cup? There really is coffee in my cup. And I have been hydrating since the last time we talked. I talked about drinking water. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, all right. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to join us. It is Sunday. I don't think we've ever done a live on a Sunday, so we'll see how it goes. But again, we're going to be talking about first deployment traditions. The first one she talked about, I said, like what? Wondering what she was talking about as a young Marine. What had she heard? And the first one, funny, was that on your first deployment, you got to shave your head. Now, it doesn't apply to female Marines, I'm guessing, but I do remember one of my first deployments because I hadn't started shaving my head yet. And I distinctly remember that that was what was passed. I just don't remember if we all did it. I did a couple times throughout as a young Marine. And I also did the let it grow out and see what you can get away with. You know, the bird look, the low reg, low as possible. And not until you become an NCO and then a staff NCO and do low regulation haircuts really bother you. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of first deployment traditions come up. All right, Gary, good evening, buddy. Good to see you from Victoria. Jennifer Rodriguez, hello. JTB, Semper Fi. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome. Another SFMF Live. It is Sunday again. Yes, you're not getting your days mixed up. Hiram, good evening, Sergeant Major. Good news. I seem to be healing from the nerve damage. Amen, brother. Prayers work. Good to hear, Hiram. Get after it. I see your little running emojis. Hopefully you can get out and start running again. Yes. Do I look like Putin, Josh? That's a compliment. Chala, Sergeant Major. Good to see you, Chala. You probably just got done PTing, getting ready for boot camp. Carl Green. Pollywog the shellback on ship was worst memory. Carl, bring that up in a little while. I got some good stories on my shellback experience as well. But you're a shellback, so congratulations. Not fun at all. Tanner Overton, I'm back. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Michael Eline. Super chat. Freaking give me the Marine Corps super chat. Welcome, Michael. Thomas Ledwig, how am I doing? I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for joining us. We're all going to be doing great here shortly once we start talking story. Roll a mile on my wheels. Good evening, brother. Semper Fi. Semper Fi, brother. Thanks for joining us. Greetings from Charleston, West Virginia. Old sergeant who served from 73 to 77. Paving the way for us young guys. Thanks for serving, brothers. Thanks for starting and carrying on the traditions that we're going to talk about tonight. That's what we do on this channel. Another one. All right, so what are you drinking? I'm drinking coffee. A couple topics tonight. First, deployment traditions. We won't talk about that bad word hazing, but I think that's what some of the traditions turn into. You've seen it, you've heard about it, you may have participated in it. but it's a no-no. Let's not even get on that subject. That take a long time. Trust me, terminal guy has female sergeant major. Missed it. Dad's military. Thomas, good to see you. JTB, drinking coffee. Amen. That's what I'm drinking. Tupuola present. Gary, drinking water. Hydrate always. Spring, Texas, drinking Lone Star. Cheers, brother. Happy Veterans Day, says John Doe, but it's actually Memorial Day tomorrow, Monday. We'll talk about that, and then we'll close it with that. Eli, tell us about your first deployment. I want to hear about all your first deployment and what kind of tradition you had for your first deployment. Because it wasn't your whole platoon or company or squad's first deployment. One or two of you, it was your first one. And those are what we're talking about. What did they say? This is your first deployment. This is what you got to do. Shave your head, shave your eyebrows. Some weird stuff. The infantry are some crazy people. So I've seen it. Unfortunately, some people got in trouble for some of the things that they did and that we're not going to talk about. Lone Star Yut from Texas lawyer. You look like a Russian soldier. Again, another compliment. All right, so first deployment traditions that came from Sergeant Cece. She asked me about it. She said that'd be a good topic, some good content to talk about. I know some of you in here have some great stories about your first deployment. The one she brought up was shaving your head. Again, I've heard it many times, and even as a staff NCO in my platoon, I would hear them talking about, are they going to do it? And it has happened many times, especially in infantry. All of a sudden, you'd go visit a platoon somewhere in their outpost, and the whole platoon or squad or fire team, whatever happened to be there, all their heads are shaved. Now, in the field or in combat, it makes a lot of sense. One, you're not taking no showers and washing your hair. You don't have shampoo, or if you do, you run out very quick. So it makes a lot of sense just to shave it off. You keep the bugs out. You don't want no ukus in your head. So the shorter your hair, the better. And I started shaving mine when I was in DI school. That's when I did, and that was to save time. In DI school, those of you who've been there, it's very, very time consuming, and you have to have the best time management in the world because you have to do all the things you have to do and maintain, obviously, their AJ squared away appearance, DI duty. So instead of waiting in line for a haircut, because my whole class was waiting in line to get a haircut, I just went to the barracks one day, shaved it off, and then I've been shaving ever since. So it definitely is a time thing, and of course I save money on shampoo and haircuts and waiting in line to get a haircut. Here it says, yes, hazing is a bad subject. Sources, YouTube and USMC at what time said command honestly did not have the knowledge of behavior. I'm telling you, it's such a sticky situation, and 99% of the time, well, I don't even say that, but a lot of the time, the Marines being hazed, it's a rite of passage that we would use as an excuse to haze. Well, that's what he's got to do. This is his first deployment. He has to get beaten with bamboo sticks or across his kneecaps. That's what we do. So they're punching in the arms when you get promoted, putting the chevrons in your collars and without the backs and banging it. The jump school, when they bang the wings into them, blood's drawn. People just got overboard with it. They completely lost the history and traditions of it, and they're just trying to hurt people. All right, trying to make it harder than when they did it. Well, that's what they did to me, so I'm going to do it to you. Wrong answer. If there's no training value to it, shouldn't be doing it. If you got to look over your shoulder before you do it, shouldn't be doing it. If you wouldn't do it in front of your sergeant major or your CO, shouldn't be doing it. So it's history and tradition, a part of the Marine Corps. Amazing. And we love it. We follow it. Rites of passage are boot camp, OCS. When you graduate that school, that is enough. It's when people try to outdo the generation before them or just the leadership before them. So don't do it. And it is a chargeable offense, and I've seen many people, good Marines, go down because they thought they were just following along with the tradition. But no training value, don't do it. So traditions that you have for first deployment, I really can't think of too many other ones. And my last 10 years of the Marine Corps was constant deployment, so it was nobody's first deployment. Obviously there was, and what happened in the platoons, in a rifle platoon and in a weapons platoon, sometimes you just don't want to know what goes on in there. P. Diddy, thank you for your service. Thank you, brother. And if you served P. Diddy, thank you as well. Appreciate you saying that. Tanner says, as a Poolee, what advice could you give me for volunteering and ranking up through boot camp? First of all, we call it getting promoted. Ranking up, I think that sounds like a JRTC thing, but you get promoted through boot camp and volunteering. I did do a short on volunteering a little while ago, and that one kind of took off as well. My personal advice, volunteer for everything. You might get a crap job here and there, but they're gonna see that you're motivated and you want to learn, you want to get better, you want to do the things that need to be done. Somebody's got to do it. Someone even in the comments said, like, their staff sergeant asked for 2 volunteers and nobody fessed up. And then he randomly picked 2 guys, and it was a quota to a school that everyone wanted. And then everyone was pissed because they gave it to these 2 not so great Marines or not the best Marines, but nobody volunteered. So it's a tricky situation. And another thing I always say is, don't try to game the game, right? Don't wait for a good one. You're going to miss out. Volunteer. What could they possibly volunteer you for that's going to be so bad that you're not going to survive it? Someone did in the comments, an older gentleman said something like, this was way back before Vietnam era, where you're volunteering for some pretty crappy stuff. And that's what he remembers being told. Don't volunteer for anything. So volunteer, to answer your question. Long way to answer your question. Mason Winter says, be the gray man at boot camp. Volunteer for everything, but don't be in the spotlight. I agree with you, Mason, 100%. Volunteer for everything. And then that carries over into the fleet. Again, you might get a couple crap jobs here and there, but it's going to pay off, right? Because you reward hard work with more work. You also reward those Marines. Be that guy, man. Be that guy or girl that go-to when you do finally have, as your staff NCO comes across his desk, hey, we have a quota for Mountain Leaders Course, swim, jump school, scuba school. Something cool is going to come. And they got to say, pick a Marine. I need a name by 1300, and it's 1235. So in the back of that staff NCO's mind is going to be that Marine that always volunteers to take the trash out, to be the last one, to clean the weapons I did, to whatever. So be on their mind. Can you please turn your mic up? Can I turn my mic up? Can you guys hear me? Good? Someone give me a thumbs up. I'm deaf, so I think I'm talking loud. Randy, Echo 3 Alpha Online. Era. Good to see you, Randy. Always good to see you. Thanks. Who? Michael. He that like. Hey, yeah, good to see you, brother. Hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah, I appreciate it, Michael. Please pass the word. Hit the like and subscribe. I'm terrible at reminding people to do that. Share with your friends and neighbors. Met a gentleman this weekend that not only had been watching me for a while, and when I met him, he's like, man, I feel like I know you. He said, I've been watching you for a year, and he ran into 3 kids on their way to boot camp. He was a Marine, so we recognized, we can kind of tell each other. They weren't Marines yet, but they're going to boot camp. And he said, have you ever heard of SFMF? There's a channel he talked. They're like, yeah, we watch it all the time, which I thought was very cool. He was in DC somewhere. So, sir, thank you very much for supporting and trying to pass the word, trying to get some more followers, which they already were followers. So that was awesome. Carlos. KTM, Dan says, I had to leave the Corps and join the Army to go to jump school. Unfortunately, that does happen. Sorry to see you go, but you're still a Marine, Dan. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And that happens for opportunities. I've known many Marines that for one reason or another, the Marine Corps wasn't working out for them. They go to the Army and completely successful. I had a guy 18 years in the Marine Corps, had to get out, couldn't make retirement, went into the Army, finished a 30-year career in the Army, and continued to get promoted. So everyone's situation is different. Once a Marine, always a Marine, though. So good on you, Dan. Blue Elvis says, tried to join the Marines, took tests and everything, but couldn't because of prior injury. I was devastated. I hear you. Blue, don't quit. Don't give up. Continue to fight. Ask someone else. I've said it on the show many times, there's a waiver for everything. So if you can not only pass the PFT, but get a high first class PFT, that would definitely help. PFT and CFT. Excuse me. So don't give up. What's your advice to someone exclusively been combat unit with no technical skills, who's afraid of civilian life? Okay. Holy. That's a lot of us. Numerous combat deployments. Numerous. That's what you know is combat experience. Talking combat with people, your everyday vocabulary is combat, and it's time to get out. You're going to go into a community, excuse me, that doesn't speak that language. So that's why we're building this community. That's exactly why, for people like that, to be able to discuss it, to be able to fit in, if you will, into the community. Never lose what you earned. And you can take a Marine out of combat, but you can't take the combat out of the Marine. I fully believe all of that. I still, to this day, say some things that people look at me like talking out the side of my neck. But it's our language, it's your culture, it's your life. It's not to be cliche, but it's not. When you join the Marine Corps, you're a Marine. You're not in the Marine Corps, you're a Marine. So it is a change of lifestyle. So you completely are different than when you were not a Marine. And those of you that serve more than 4, 8, once you've been a Marine longer than you were a civilian or not a Marine, it even takes over completely. That's why even the people on here, every now and then they get a combat, let it go, man, you're out, you're retired, you're not a Marine anymore. It's ingrained in us. Boot camp ingrains it in you to where you are always a Marine for the rest of your life. So let it go, you're not a Marine anymore? Yes, I am. And no, I won't let it go. Mike Lake Cookie, what's up, brother? Good evening, brother. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Get John Brown, give him a call, tell him get on. Dom, served 8 years in the Army. Hooah. Good to see you, Dom, and thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. Transfer skills. All right. Giovanni says, what are the transferable skills for Marine to civilian life, or is it just shooting guns? So another good thing, another good question, good comment. Thank you, Giovanni, because that's what the infantry guys think, or that's what, don't go infantry because all you're going to know how to do is kill people. The leadership training you get, the camaraderie you build with everybody, the everyday actions you learn from day one to boot camp to the day you get out is enhancing all of your skills. No doubt in my mind. And that's when I always tell people, if you're a CEO, you own a big company and you have to hire some people and you see a guy that has 4 years of Marine Corps experience, you know right away his discipline, his work ethic. Everything is different about him. Now, are there bad Marines? Sure. In every service, have those bad service members that just don't cut it. They weed themselves out. And that's kind of probably the person they're going to be for the rest of their life. But if I had to choose, without meeting them, any kind of military background, you know, all the services, all the basic trainings and boot camps, you know they learned discipline, leadership, teamwork, right? How to be a team player and not selfish. I don't even remember the question. Oh, your skills, do they transfer over? Yes, 100%. Michael Jones, RCs and Knives. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Always good to see you. Right there, Randy Harder says it. Troop leading works in civilian life. So our leadership skills, traits, principles. Everyone says this is not the Marine Corps. Well, the Marine Corps has been successful for 248 years. I think what the Marine Corps does in leadership and running a business, you can use those leadership skills that you learned throughout your service as a Marine. They absolutely transfer over 100%, in my opinion. Now, in your civilian community, you work at Toyota, are they Marines? Nope. But your leadership that you've learned does work on them. It's still leadership. Leadership is leadership. And if you look it up, what are the Marines? Again, we have leadership traits and principles. You just look up leadership and it'll say the 10 best leadership traits, 7 best leadership traits. Those are all everyone's opinion, but a lot of them are very, very similar. So they do transfer over. Trade your guns for tools. Randy. Goofy brother, sup? Devil dogs. Sir, I need your help to beat Chen. Okay. Yeah, I had grunt logistics from recon. I had grunts in logistics from recon. So within the Marine Corps, you transfer different MOSs, and they transfer over. Leadership traits and principles don't change. Yeah. I think, Gary says, I think it's very important to explain to young generation that USMC is new opportunity, whatever they decide later in civilian life. 100%. I can't agree more. All right, Lay Cookie says, it's the work ethic you learn pays off. So Lay Cookie, if I may, and I talked about you before, the hardest working Marine I ever met in my entire life, no doubt. I'm not saying that just because you're on tonight. I've said it before. Now, I've also talked about how you came in as a slick sleeve and you left as a slick sleeve. Once a private, always a private, but you had a good time. He is the most transparent person I know in my life as well. And he'll tell you if you're all screwed up, which is not easy to do. People don't like it. People sugarcoat things and it destroys morale. It's never good to sugarcoat things. Oh, you're not that bad. No, Lay Cookie will tell you if you're bad, you're bad. If you have issues, you have issues. And I, even talking about him, I have to watch my language. But his tact is a little bit different than anyone else's, but it's real and it's necessary, especially in today's society. Everyone wants to coddle. Oh, it's not that bad. Nope. Transparency. Call it like it is. So appreciate you, Lay Cookie, for being here, brother. Michael Jones says, hardcore Marine Corps era. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. Huge supporter. Appreciate you, brother. Great, great guy. So please, all of you on here, subscribe to Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. Thanks for always being here. Hear him. Tools, yes, Sergeant Major. That is what the silly acronym means. T, shirt, in Hebrew means not weapon war, combat in front. Okay. Did I miss the comments? Say it again. The what? It's not that, it's worse. Oh, did I miss a comment from the Pollens? Are you on here? If you are, please put it back up. Charles says, let me know before it comes back up. Those who want to join will join, but for those seeing things, recent recruiting ads, especially from some other branches, what are your thoughts on them? So, everyone knows the Marine Corps has the best recruiting advertisements. It's the dress blues. So what do I think about recruiting? I think, again, the Marines, we are the only ones that are meeting our recruiting goals. Why do I think people aren't joining? Is that your question? Why is recruiting hurting right now? Not too sure. Anytime, Michael's Drones, era. It's not that bad, it's worse. Randy, what are you talking about? I don't remember. What you're talking about that's better. I'm sorry, that's worse. So the recruiting effort, again, I think media is what's ruining it. So it is an election year. So we'll see what happens after that. The Marines still, and I did the post last year when the ACMAC, the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps, said, your bonus is being able to call yourself a Marine. It gets no better than that. That's the only bonus that we need. So we're meeting our recruiting goals. So hats off and shout out to all of our recruiters out there. Good job. Charlie says, yes, that's why the other branches hurting at the moment. They all are. Just remember, Michael's Drone says, everyone in the chat, please do not forget to smash that like button for our awesome host. Thanks. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. We talked about our, check the description for our links. The merch will be back up very, very soon. My production team is still making more. Appreciate you, my wife and kids. My production team is on vacation right now. So that's why I got all these glitches right now and I'm missing comments. I need them back ASAP. Micah says, of course, teaching anti-American, not too sure. Michael, look, my Lake Cookie says, never misunderstood. You never wondered what Lake Cookie was thinking. He'll tell you a couple times, very loud with some explicitives in there. And I'm telling you, it's appreciated, it's refreshing, it's nice to see. There's too many people that don't do it. It's a gift and an art that Mike Laycook has. No sugarcoat. Gary Morton, thumbs up for the, you didn't finish. Giovanni, USMC chaplain work is very important. How can we detect our Marines for spiritual support? So a USMC chaplain is a U.S. Navy chaplain. We love our chaplain. Remember the two Navy that works for the Marines full-time is chaplains and corpsmen and doctors and RP, the chaplain's assistant. They deploy with the Marines, and we couldn't do it without either one of them joining the team. They get into Marine Corps regs, they take Marine Corps exams, they wear our uniform, and they're pretty awesome. So I don't know if I understand your question, but Navy chaplains deploy with Marines, and God bless them for what they do. Couldn't do it without them. Gary says, thumbs up for the support team. Amen. Gary, seriously, couldn't do it without them. I'm hurting over here. But with all of your love and support, we're making it happen. And they're helping me from afar. Chaplain and corpsman, again, Giovanni can't say enough about them. Direct them. Okay, I got you. So how can we get the chaplain to direct Marines more? I personally think I think they do a great job, but you figure there's one chaplain for an infantry battalion. Infantry battalion in combat is about 15,000 Marines. So for that, 1,500 Marines. So for that one chaplain to get around, and if you're in an AO like my last one, where we had about 45 positions, so we were spread out over the entire AO. So for that chaplain to get out to see every Marine and sailor, not easy. Back in the rear, easier. Obviously, church services, they are in the unit with you, so much easier. But how do we get more of them? The rest of us, we work through the chaplain and help them out. God bless you. Great question, Giovanni. Randy, the ability to tell someone to go to hell and they actually look forward to the trip. Amen. Definition of tact. And that's what Mike Laycook has mastered. And he's probably told me that a few times. And I was like, all right, here I go. Apple Tree. Hi, Apple Tree. King, are you a pro golfer? No. Why you say that? Because my shirt? I'm a great golfer. Except the windmill. When the windmills and you're trying to get it through there and the windmill keeps knocking the ball back and forth and the hole-in-one at the end. No, I'm not a good golfer. I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie. 18 holes is kind of a long time, but like the beer truck that goes around and it's great camaraderie and people say that's, I don't know the percentage, but the biggest business deals are made on the golf course. So my problem is I get impatient, and I just want to hit that ball as hard as I can, even when it's a 10-foot putt. I just want to kill it. So no, not a good golfer. Definitely not a golf pro. Jerry, Semper Fi, brother. Was a chaplain. Giovanni was a chaplain with Army, but my kid is a Marine, so I'm trying to make the connection. I got you. God bless you, Giovanni. Thanks for being the Army chaps. Again, great question. How do you get to all of them? That's very, very tough. But don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Never quit or give up, like they taught us in boot camp. Michael Eli, when I was in boot, chapel was 1 week of sleep. So in boot camp, yes, as a recruit, I never went to church on Sundays. I wish I would have. Never did, but I was trying to be the best recruit ever. So I was working on, we were spit-shining boots and shoes and drill and PTing. Again, hindsight, I wish I would have went to church every Sunday. But I did see the recruits coming back, and you can tell that they were sleeping. Boot camp's a little tough, I imagine, for the chaplain corps. But once you get in the fleet, it's game on. David D. I'm not sure what he's talking about. So, not a whole lot. Nobody has any first deployment traditions that we talked about. Again, shaving the head was one that kind of came up. That was, again, from Sergeant Cece era. She talked about that one being pretty common. And I guess like after the first deployment, the first timers, the boots got to buy a round of beer. I'm sure there's some common easy ones that specific unit has. Depending on your MOS, if you're a truck driver, maybe the boot, first time deployed, he's got to do all the driving, fill all the tanks, check all the oil, something. There's got to be something that each MOS might be a little bit different. Giovanni says, the church is safe haven for all of you. Come on, guys. I can't back you up enough on that, Giovanni. Chaps, it is a safe place. And unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is I did a post a while ago that says there's no atheists in a fighting hole, because that's when rounds are popping off around your head and you're seeing people get shot and you're seeing death. All of a sudden, you're calling to God. Problem is, once we make it out alive and we make it back home, we forget about God. We put him back up on the shelf until we think we need him again. So it's a constant, every day, all day. Develop a relationship with God. And you need help through the chaplain. Please visit the chaps and find out what you need to do. It is not, Michael Eline asked if this is a pig's tooth, a hog's tooth, a pig's tooth. It is not, and somebody has asked before. I'm not a sniper. I don't earn it. I didn't earn the hog's tooth, but I appreciate it. You're a little late. Chala, my first deployment traditions would include watching Full Metal Jacket and, of course, SFMF. That should be, there you go. We just made a new tradition. Before you go to your first deployment, if you're not on SFMF, you better get on it. Make that a deployment tradition. JTB, Jonathan, positive mental attitude. Always. Got to have it. In basic training, those you getting ready to go. And then throughout, a positive mental attitude. Mike Eline says, hate it. What is that for, Michael? That's how they can talk to you? Yes, you're a sniper of souls for Jesus. Amen, Michael, always. Come on, these guys. See what? Yeah, if you can, after a while, if it continues. All right. Once again, if you haven't told me yet what you're drinking, let us know. I'm drinking coffee. It is Sunday night. Again, some of you may have been looking for us yesterday. Saturdays, again, been a crazy weekend. One of my daughters had a couple color guards to perform all the graduations that are happening now. So that was a recent post also. Congratulations to all the grads. Carlos, good evening from Europe. Thanks for joining us, brother. Glad you're here. Michael says, my dad handed out Bibles to, I'm guessing, everybody. I always love that about the chaps also. Always had boxes and boxes of little pocket Bibles that you literally can put in one of your cargo pockets. I have many of them from many deployments. The rosaries that they'd bring out and hand out. I'm telling you, the chaps is a godsend when you're in the field and in combat, always. Gary says, in Canadian Army boot camp, we were marched to the mess hall for the morning and midday meals. This is before a haircut. We were called Alice. That's who is that? Yeah, if you just, I missed it. If you're getting ready to ship out soon, put it back up there, please. Steven says, going to the police academy in August, molded after the Marine Corps boot camp, 22 weeks, this time through instead of 13 weeks. Good luck, Steven. That sounds fun. I wish I was going to Army Police Academy for 22 weeks. I hope it is. I hope it's everything you talk about, because we need police academy. We need good, solid policemen out there. So thank you for serving your community. Get after it. Let us know how it goes, Stephen. If you get your phone, join us again and leave some comments. Let us know how the police academy is in August. It's going to be hot. Where is that anyway? Michael says, let's hope we get voted ID laws. Otherwise, USA, yes, ID. Are you talking about for voting? IDs for voting? Charlie says, how can I support your support team? By always being with us. Charlie, I appreciate you. Again, once they're back, check out the description, all our links on our description, and tell a friend. Charlie, you are supporting, brother. Appreciate you. David Bryan says 7'5", I was 5'9", 230, 300 PFT, and 83. And I just missed the rest of your comment. Carlos says, I'm a very interested person on American culture and do admire how you guys live. Your Constitution is great value and you should protect it. Amen, Carlos. I hope we do. We need to continue to be a great country. It's looking pretty grim recently, but I have faith in our men and women of all of our services. Carlos, where are you? You guys have no idea how free you are compared to us. Where are you, Carlos? I like to believe that there's a lot of free countries, right? We're not the only one. There's many of the many countries. America is known as the free, but many countries are free. Belgium. Is it? Belgium's a free country, yeah. But America is what people say, the melting pot, land of opportunity, right? That's why, again, people come from all over, and if you do it properly, you can succeed in America. Tanner says, I was told somewhere that if you refuse to go to any religious gathering on a day of rest, you had extra duty in the training schedule. Maybe in boot camp they might have told you that. Never. I would never say, I mean, that's your choice. I highly encourage it, but you can never make nor deny anybody the right to go worship. No way in heck. Never forget, Spirit of 76. Randy. All right. I'm in North Carolina and I'm Catholic. Big Chun Rob. All right. Some great comments, great feedback. Appreciate everybody. Let's get I like to get the count of East Coast, West Coast, roll call. It's time for roll call. San Diego, Parris Island. Right, the flat grounds of Parris Island. I think they have some bugs there or something that are annoying. Not sure what those are. Or the mountains of San Diego. Where were you born? I've been to Parris Island a couple of times, and it is miserable. It was in the summer, extremely hot. I wasn't standing in formation hours on end, so I didn't get the whole sand flea experience. And if a bug was on me, I was able to slap it because I wasn't a recruit down there. So hats off to those, all of you that went through Parris Island. And it was hot, uncomfortably hot and humid. San Diego, of course, the mountains and the beaches. We don't talk about, of course, the beaches are beautiful, but we weren't out on the beach enjoying them. We were hiking on them. I don't know if they still, anyone currently, just recently graduated boot camp, do you still do that? We did a 5 mile, then a 7 mile on the beach while you're up north, through the tomato patches and then back on base. That one was the butt kicker as well. Not as bad as Mount Mother and the Reaper. Those are devastating. And as a drone instructor, you do it 8 or 10 times a year. A cycle as you're a drone instructor. So you do it many, many times, but you're a Marine by then, so you can handle it. 29 stumps. Love me some 29 palms. Yeah, never stationed there, but loved all the training there. Jared, platoon 2073, 1991, MCRD, San Diego, era. That's 2nd Battalion. Right, first is red, second is yellow, third is blue. Lieutenant says, I'm very happy to get to go to San Diego with nice sea breeze. RIP for the people who want to go to PI, I'm guessing you're saying. Marines eat the Reaper for breakfast. Hurrah. That's right. San Diego, Mount Mother. Hurrah. 29 stumps. And it was not fun. But here's the thing that people say about 29 palms when you get stationed there. If you're married, you have a family, you get stationed there, all the amenities in the world, and they just continue to make it. I think the last, it's been a while since I've been there, but a brand new gym and the exchange, awesome, beautiful. My company, hurrah. I was a 3rd Battalion recruit. 3082, my company, hurrah. Thumping 3rd. Parris Island. I didn't hear that last command. BAH is worth it. Oh yeah, Carlos, my max was 35 pull-ups and 8 marathons for lunch. Get some, Carlos. Run a couple marathons. I never did 35 pull-ups, but I could always usually get those. 29 Palms, the story I do remember about 29 Palms, the Jason Rother story. If any of you have heard of that, let us know in the comments. Not a great story. The Marine ended up dying, but it was an accountability thing. Big operation, CACs, road guards everywhere. The CACs operations is thousands and thousands of Marines. It's a joint. It's huge. Again, they rename it, have renamed it a few times. I don't know what it's called now. But once everyone was gone there, all the vehicles are going out, tents are being torn down. This guy was a road guard, Lance Corporal Rother, road guard, directing traffic. Next thing you knew, there was no more traffic to direct. Not even the vehicle to come pick up all the road guards. So after hours, and you can find the story online, he didn't know where he was. He was in the middle of the desert. And those of you who've been out there, there's nothing but miles and miles of desert. The town is back that way. So he started walking, trying to make his way to town. And don't quote me on the timeline, but a couple of days of that. When they found him, his body, he had walked in, his clothes were like because it's hot in the middle of the desert, he had taken off his blouse, taken probably his trousers off, boots. When they found him, he was just bones and rifle. And he had walked in a circle, like in a delirium, dehydrated, walked, they said it looked, again, don't quote me on the times or the hours, but circle and circle and circle. He was delirious until he finally collapsed and died. The worst part about it, that he died is the worst part. They didn't even know he was gone yet. And those of you who are in a rush to get back, the deployment's over, time to celebrate, time to drink beer, not until you have 100% accountability. And someone telling you we're up is not. What's the number? Look them eye to eye, face to face, have a roster. Can't stress it enough. Accountability is nothing to we're up. All right, and I made a mistake one time. I don't even remember what course it was I was in. It was one of those, I was the platoon sergeant for the day. I think it was Mountain Leaders course or something. And the instructor was like, all right, let's go, hurry up, hurry up. Are we up? We're up. As soon as I said we're up, a kid comes out of the porta-john. He said, what about him? So you don't ever be in a rush to give that accountability count. We are up, we have 42 Marines, whatever your count is. So don't rush it, ever. You can have a Lance Corporal Jason Rother situation on your hand, and you definitely don't want that. All right. So that's what somebody said. Yeah, that's what it. And that's who we heard the story from as well. Our company gunny told us that, and he was one of those guys that don't tell me we're up. Tell me what the number is. Where are they exactly? Ghost. There's a brother missing right now in Missouri. I hope they find him. I hope it wasn't a similar case. New Jersey, east of Delaware River, Onslow Beach was a great time. Sad to have to leave here. I've been to Onslow Beach, beautiful. East Coast beaches are a little different than West Coast if you've been to both. East Coast you can't see, they're green. West Coast colder, but it's a different color. Jared, I got left in a foxhole, fighting hole, Jared, full of water for 18 hours in Fort Bragg. Oh, if you're Army it is, but you're in a Marine uniform. The same reason, lack of accountability. Again, don't be in such a rush, and that's usually what it is at the end of a deployment when you think nothing can go wrong. That's when everything should be heightened. Accountability, hydration, or heat, whatever kind of situation you're in, that's when it has to get even stronger. Everyone's tired. Everyone's hot, thirsty, hungry, tired. They just want to go home. Not until we all go home together. You're training with the Army. All right, Jerry, you scared me for a minute. Training with the Army. But yeah, not good. And especially when you are training with someone else and you don't know everybody by face. That's when accountability is much more important. And I remember when name tapes came out and the Marines kind of fought it. Oh, we're looking like the Army now. Why do we have to have our name tags on there? Helps with accountability. You know who you're talking to. I liked it. I fought it at first too. I'm sure with everyone else being hard-headed about change, but I love the fact that we have name tapes now. Giovanni, still a stud, 50. Wow, you're old. Not even, 50's young. 100 push-ups in 60 seconds, 30 pull-ups in 24 seconds. So keep pushing, Gen X. We still believe in you. Get after it, no excuses, no days off. 1% better every day. 50, still young. Giovanni, don't worry about it. Once you get my age, Dummy Crash ended up retiring January 10th, 2022. How many years did you do, Dummy Crash? I think you put it up there when you went to boot camp. I forget. Welcome to the first Civ Div. Jack Gray says, anyone specific you'll be remembering tomorrow? Good question, brother. Yeah, so every brother and sister that didn't come back for the war. Anyone specific? I have a few of the recent ones that we did a short video in Hawaii on a Memorial Day. Went and visited a couple bricks of some 3-3 Marines. When I first retired, I wore my dog tags for a long time. And eventually I took my dog tag off and wore a blank dog tag. Nobody knew, you could never see it, but I wore a blank dog tag. I wanted to wear the dog tags of Marines that were lost. I decided against that. But I wore the blank dog tag for the same reason that we put a blank dog tag out for the POW and MIA table for all of our brothers and sisters who aren't with us anymore. And I was going to kind of finish up with Memorial Day, but Gary, since you brought it up, appreciate it. The best quote I've ever heard, General Patton said something, it's foolish to mourn the ones who lost, but better to thank God that men like that even existed. So everyone celebrates Memorial Day different. You see the memes are going to start coming out on all your social media platforms. Some are celebrating, some it's not a barbecue day off. It's not just for celebrating. Again, everyone celebrates it different, and myself included. Love a barbecue and hang out with friends and drink a couple of beers. But I would never forget to take a moment and pause and remember the men and women who aren't with us today, because none of us would be here without the men and women that gave the ultimate sacrifice. So I appreciate you bringing that up, brother, and we'll close it out with that as well. And if we won't see any of you tomorrow, but have a safe Memorial Day and just take a moment to remember. If you don't even have anyone specific, which would be great, but remember them all. No way. So appreciate you bringing that up. All right. Blue says, my grandpa was a staff sergeant, World War II. Again, we're here because of people like your grandfather. So take a moment to remember all them. The Murph. How about the Murph? Who is doing the Murph tomorrow? We talked about it on Wednesday. Mile run. Let me know if I get this, if I got it straight. I wrote it down somewhere, but a mile run, push-ups first, pull-ups, and then you finish with a mile run. If Kimi Cocoa Puffs is anywhere around, please put that back up, or if anybody remembers what it is. I know you start with the mile run and you finish with the mile run. I'm going to do it. I'm going to see if one of my, maybe we'll go live while I do it, but I'm definitely going to do it because I have to beat Kimi Cocoa Puffs score. Mile run, God, I think it's 30 push-ups, pull-ups, then another, no, air squats. I think squats are in there also. Push-ups, pull-ups, and squats. And then a mile run again. I got it. It's written down. I'm doing it. That is the Murph for Memorial Day. And that is for a fallen soldier as well. All right. Yes, Michael's drone still. Semper Fi. What about burpees? Is there burpees in it? I don't think there was. I kind of hope they're not. I'm not a fan of the burpees. Oh, they're a butt kicker, but they are good. They're good for you with the jump. So kind of like a bend and thrust, right? But the burpee added, and I don't know when the burpees came about, but I remember bends and thrusts. But the burpees, they add the jump in there, and it's a little jump, depending on what kind of workout you're trying to get. But it definitely does make it that much harder. So if it is in there, I'll be doing them, right? Burpees are butt kickers. Air squats too, after you're doing them for, oh, there it is. Tanner got it. 1 mile. Run 1 mile. Do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 body weight squats. I was way off on the numbers. This is much better. And then another mile run. So 1 mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 body squats, and then a mile run. He says with a weighted vest, 20 pounds. If you have a weighted vest, you better be wearing it. I have one. I'll wear the vest. I don't know about the plate. Just kidding. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Especially if you're wearing that vest, Tanner, I'm going to wear mine. Randy says we'll be paying taps tomorrow in honor of First Sergeant Hodder's, Randy Hodder's father, First Sergeant, playing taps. Semper Fi. Hey, no refusing to train. Jared, you better get out there. The Murph. Who's doing it? Let's see it. Put it up there. We can watch this later. You know it's being recorded, so we can watch it later. Who is going to do it? Who? Gary says, wish y'all a great Memorial Day from Canada, and honor those that are gone. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you 100%. We'll be doing the same. Then Canada. When is Memorial Day? Is the Canadian Memorial Day different? And if it is, Gary, let us know when that is. We'll celebrate with you as well. Appreciate that. Thank you for your service. Oakdale Woods, appreciate you. And if you serve, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. Wow, Jared, you have, I don't know what that is. I don't even want to try and say it. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, emphysema. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, but power through it. Wish me luck then. Carlos, from Cardinal Hayes to Central Park and back to Hayes. That's a good run. That's what you're talking about, you're going for a run. Make it happen, Michael. I'm with you. All right. Chest, arms. Tanner says I got chest and arms tomorrow, but might do a Murph. That's why I'm gonna do my workout tomorrow. Maybe I'll go light. Tomorrow is, I did tries, chest and tries today, so I got back and buys. Back and buys tomorrow, but I'll do maybe a light one, but I'm doing the Murph. Who else is doing it? Gary, November 11th, IRA. Veterans Day, November 11th. Oh, that's when Canadian Memorial Day is, November 11th? Because that's also Veterans Day for us. A lung disease. Again, Jared, sorry to hear that, brother. We'll be praying for you. I hope it's manageable. I hope you're not in any kind of pain. Tony says, do a kickflip. I know what that is. Michael Jones says, I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. We had the Indianapolis 500 race today. Wow. The city was packed. I'm sure it's chaos there. Have you been to one of the races? You go to the stadium and watch that? I always wondered what it'd be like to watch a race like that, the Indy 500. Just wait until they pass you. Zoom, 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 zoom. And then you wait. Do you hear that? And you turn around and talk to your friends until the cars come around again. I think it would be exciting to be there, any live sport. I didn't think I would enjoy hockey live until I went to a hockey match. And being there live in any sport, I think is great. Baseball, not a lot of baseball fans in my family, but I think if they were to go to one, they would enjoy it. I like being there for it. Tanner says, I'll do it if you do. I'm doing it, Tanner. So let's go. No pain, no gain. No train, no gain. We're going to beach run. It says, Brian Urate, Robert Fletcher. Jared says, I used to run 1730, 1800 till I hit my 30s. 1730, man, I think I told y'all before, 1830 was my best run twice. I ran at 1830 two separate times, one as a recruit and one as a drill instructor. Every other time it's been closer to 19 minutes. A lot of 19 and some change, but never an 18 minute. So good on you, Jared. And again, hang tough, brother. Is one of the production team anywhere near? Pro hockey is ruthless. I'm telling you, I really enjoyed being there. Can you hear it? Been to it many times over and over the years. Went today. I live about 9 miles from the track. Wow. Many times. Yeah, it's awesome. I would love to go to an Indy 500 one time. All right, can one of them come over here? All right, another comment that I did a post on recently was, and this is comments from a post, for the grad, my most recent one. All the graduates, Naval Academy, we had a contact on LinkedIn, had discussed about what uniform to wear for he was receiving the first salute. Master Guns, this is for you. And just what uniform should he wear to give the first salute? Because those of you who don't know, the tradition of that is the newly graduated commissioned officer receives the first salute. The first person that salutes them, that brand new officer gives them their coin. And it's the first salute and the first salute only. And this Master Guns on LinkedIn had asked me what uniform to wear. He's getting ready to do one. What a huge honor that is. And it turns out it was also someone that we had known in Hawaii. Again, just shows you how small the Marine Corps is. But this, just the tradition alone, in that post that I put, a comment or a tip to the officers, the young officers. That's what the comment was. Can you discuss the relationship between the young officers and the enlisted, and specifically the staff NCOs? What a great comment and a great topic to discuss, because that relationship is so important. Again, it has, I've been doing it for 248 years. I can't say it enough. We're paired that way for a reason. A brand new lieutenant out of school, however they got their commission, is always going to be paired up with a senior sergeant in the Marine Corps anyway, ideally a staff sergeant or a gunnery sergeant. So the enlisted Marine, staff NCO, has years of experience. The lieutenant just learned everything right out of school. So together with the book knowledge and the experience, perfect match. It works out perfectly. So the relationship has to be open for both of you. The young lieutenant who has learned it all in the books, very smart, 4 years of college, and then OCS and TBS, and they follow on schools, but they just don't have the experience yet. They just don't have the experience yet. So that coupled with the staff NCO who has, it's a great relationship. Now, is there ever a bad relationship where the officer says, well, I'm a lieutenant now, I know it all, and I'm in charge, so you will listen to me? Yes, unfortunately, that does happen. That just creates a barrier between the staff NCO and the officer. When that staff NCO should be a good staff NCO, and talk to the young lieutenant. Ma'am, sir, please, let's work together. I'm a huge asset for you. You are overall in charge. I'll never dispute that. Salute you and call you ma'am 100% of the time, but let's do this together. I know the Marines. I've been with the Marines. We've been on deployments together. We've been in the field together. I live in the barracks with them. Please allow me to give my experience and your book knowledge, and we can make this happen. It's a work relationship, and it's fantastic as long as, again, both parties are open-minded. I used to have some discussions with some of my commanders. We didn't always agree. We would go behind closed doors and sit down and talk like men and say, look, here's what I think. I understand what you think. Tell me your overall commander's intent, and trust me to make it happen. If I fail in that mission and I don't meet your commander's intent, then we'll talk again, and we're going to do it exactly how you foresee it. Whatever the case is, as long as you communicate. Never tune them out. To the Buddhist Marine, the youngest person in your unit, to the most senior, somebody's got a good idea or a better way to do things. So don't be afraid to ask and find out. All right, Randy says, you have a solution to as you were, to the problem, I'm guessing you're saying, as you were? Or you tell me right now, as you were, so you can rewrite it. Maybe that's what it is. Put it back up, Randy. Please, I missed it. Jared says, we always had more respect for the officers that chewed the same dirt with us than the ones polishing their leather chairs. So good tip, good point, Jared. The officers that are in the field with you, that do the same things you do, what I say, not as I do. No, be in the mud with your men and women. Do the things that you expect them to do, and let them see you do it, and do it because you want to do it. Don't try to make decisions on what's best for them. Tanner, officers may have the authority, but NCOs have the experience and the respect of others. Amen. Flannel Phillip says, Marine Dad here. Love your content, brother. Well, thank you, Flannel Phillip. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hang tough. Where's your son? What is he doing? What rank is he? And congratulations on being part of the Marine family. Appreciate you. Tanner, aye, sir. Randy, okay, Wilco, sir, I have the solution to a potential problem. Let's hear it, Randy. And I got to tell you, leadership, if it's a problem, it has something to do with leadership. But let's see what you got, Randy. Flannel says, my son comes home for recruiter assistant this week. Can't wait to see him. So he just finished boot camp, and now he's coming home for recruiter assistant. Recruiter assistants, enjoy him, Flannel. You're going to see a changed man. Congratulations to you again. Welcome to the family. And Semper Fi, my friend. You're going to see a huge change in him. I'm excited for you all. Carla says, the new Marine Corps look for Marine warfare too, which I find that outstandingly awesome too. In personal auxiliary approach of your team. Amen. It definitely does work that way. Outlook for Marine warfare. Again, while they're planning, we talked about as long as they don't plan in a box. Okay, it might be only 3 of you up at the top, but you have to expand outside the box and ask the people that those decisions affect 100%. You don't have all the answers. Never claimed to have all the answers myself. That's not how I moved up through the ranks. It was everybody around me. They have the answers. Collectively, we can come up with a solution. Remember what you never want to hear? Well, that's how we always do it. Horrible answer. Flannel's son is a PFC, training for aviation ordnance in Florida right now. Oh, so he's in school already. So he graduated, went to aviation ordnance school in Florida, and he'll be home soon. Again, congrats. One, tell him I said, URAH, and join the SFMF community and help us build. He's got all the knowledge right now. He's one of the most recent ones, so he can correct me on some of the things that I have forgotten, that we have forgotten, or that just have changed flat out. So definitely get him on the channel, Flannel, and we'll definitely love. Can't wait to meet him. So get him on there as soon as you can. Get him on here as soon as you can, and he can tell us any new changes that we're missing. Randy, what do you got? Buddy, we're hearing for your solution. Remember, every problem is a leadership problem. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. It is a leadership problem somewhere. Transparency, communication. Thank you, Philip. Definitely looking forward to seeing you again until your son comes back, and then looking forward to meeting PFC Philip. URAH. Navy SEAL. You're a Navy SEAL. URAH. Are you verified by the Navy SEAL guy? What is his name? Calls a lot of people out. And you're subscribed. URAH. Good to have you here, brother. Let's hear from the Navy SEALs. What do you got? I love watching that guy who calls those people out. Man, what is his name? Anybody know his name? He has that YouTube channel where he calls them up and calls them, hey, who do you know? It's a small community. Smaller than Don Shipley. Thanks, Jared. Don Shipley. Love that guy. URAH. Chuck Abels, President accounted for. You're a little late, Chuck. Where you been, buddy? You owe some burpees. Are you going to do the Murph tomorrow? Talked about the Murph. Chuck, good to see you here, brother. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Yes, 7 days a week. Jesus is the way, truth, and the life. URAH. Thomas, can I be on this channel if I'm not in the military? 100% yes, and tell all your friends. This is not just for the military. We are a little biased towards the military for all the right reasons, but we want as many people in this community as possible. We are one team. So please, all over the world, we have some from Canada, from the UK. Anyone else? Anywhere outside of those two? Yes, please continue to stay on this channel, Thomas. And we talk about the civilian community, how leadership transfers over to the civilian community. Maybe you can enlighten us. It's not the Marine Corps. Stop treating these civilians like Marines. I'm not trying to treat them like Marines. We're trying to impart some of the knowledge that we've learned, the leadership ones. A Navy SEAL says, are you a veteran or are you active? I'm a veteran, Navy SEAL. Appreciate you, brother. Retired a few years ago. Flannel says, any plans for Memorial Day? Thanks, Flannel. Appreciate you asking that. Yes, we're doing the Murph for Memorial Day. And we chat with some buddies and talk about, some tough subjects about Marines we've lost. And then we like to celebrate their life even better. I told you about the quote that, we don't need to mourn just their loss, but thank God that men like them and women like them even existed and served our country. So it's a little of both. Randy says, circle 3, dimensional thinking, replace linear box in the cage. Yeah, there you go. Again, you got to get outside the box. Circular 3-dimensional thinking replaces the linear box or the cage. So it's something as simple as that, a round table, the box being the cage. Yes, I'm with you. Navy SEAL says, oh, great. Okay, great. Let's hear your story. Buddy, where you at? Oh, I'm going to the grave site. Yeah. Which one? You going to a military grave site? Navy SEAL, where are you? Where I'm at right now, I don't know where the closest memorial cemetery is. I'm sure they're all over here. What are your thoughts regarding the Ukrainian war? I'm not, Carlos, asking. Yeah, it's I'm not, I'll be honest with all of you right now, full transparency, I'm not following it as much as maybe I should. I know the Marines aren't going in yet. I'm not into the politics, and we don't talk about politics on here for a reason. So I don't know enough about it to give my personal opinion on it. I hope we don't lose anybody in it that died needlessly. That's my thoughts on it. Tanner, CSR Major, I gotta go for a run before dark. I'll be Murphing it up tomorrow. Thank you for your leadership and advice. All right, Tanner, get some. See you tomorrow. Don't kill yourself. Don't try to use that excuse tomorrow where I ran last night. So you better be there tomorrow for the Murph. All right. Thanks for joining us, brother. Would you recommend talking to my sons about joining the military? Would you recommend me talking to my sons about joining the military, the rebound sessions? 100%. They need to know their options. Again, my story is right out of high school. 17 years old, I enlisted. My parents signed. As soon as I turned 18, I shipped off. No regrets whatsoever. I was even on a kick for a while. Every military-age male should do 2 years in the service. Some countries do that. I don't know if that's necessary in America, but I do highly recommend it if even just reserves. Basic training and OCS teach you so much life lessons that you can't go wrong with it. 100%. Yes, talk to them about it. Brun Collin, love the channel. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thomas Ludwig, I'm in ATL. What is that? Here in Atlanta? I too live in Banning, Georgia. Oh, I used to. I'm sorry. See, my production team is not here to help me. Darius Jones, number 5, Sergeant Major. Darius Jones, Big Jones. Pleasure talking to you today, brother. Can't wait to see you. Come on down. We're going to hit the gym while you're here, so be ready. No excuses. Good talking to you today. Thomas Levy used to live in full Banning, Georgia. I got you, Thomas. Sorry about that. Lana says, gotta fly. Peace and grease, brother. Semper Fi and era. Flana, did you say you were a Marine also? Or just your son is? But Semper Fi to you, brother. Again, welcome to the family. Look forward to seeing you again and talking to your son. Yes, can't wait to meet your son on here. All of you. Man, what a great crowd on a Sunday. Appreciate you guys. Always fun, always a good time. Enjoy the camaraderie, this community that we're growing. Here's something. Someone just asked me, I joined another group of individuals from all different walks of life and different countries. This group is kind of unique, and once I know more about it, I'm going to share it on the channel. It's like a mastermind group of, it was going to be just 10, and there's a lot of interest, so there's 20 of us. And again, from different countries, way different backgrounds, accountability groups. So far, I'm the only military guy. So very interesting. And they asked me a little introduction page. Here's who I am, here's what I've done, and here's what I'm trying to do. And someone, of course, asked really specifically, how are you trying to help transition, members transition, and what are you trying to help them transition from and to? Again, they're not military. So as I was explaining, all I could think of was all of you in this community, trying to help people, veterans and their family members, transition from the military service to the civilian community. Sounds easy, seems easy. I thought it was going to be easy when I retired. It's easy. I know it all. Even for a few years, I talked to Darius Jones earlier today, and I didn't even do anything with my VA benefits till about 4 or 5 years after I retired. What was I waiting for? Because I didn't know. It was a lack of knowledge. The cliche, you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know a lot, but I didn't know a lot. So that's what this community, and I try to explain that in the text group with this new group that I'm in, and their reaction was, wow, aren't there groups that do that? You would think that's already thought of. And here's the thing, the answer is yes, there are groups that do that, and there's a lot of them. So what makes ours different? That's what we're trying to figure out. It's collective, it's all of you. Again, I'm not thinking in a box, I don't have all the answers. That's the reason to build this community, so I can hear from you for some things that I did and failed at. I ended it with this. I learned the hard way on a lot of things, and I don't want anyone else to have to learn the hard way. There's no reason for that. Too many of us are doing it, have done it, and I think it's gotten a lot better since I retired, and it's getting better and better every day. So this community, you guys, is what is going to make this a success. So appreciate you all. Roundabout way saying thank you for you are going to help me in this other group as well. Man, so that was good. I just wanted to share that with you because I had to explain to someone who asked me, what are you really trying to do? Frank Hernandez, you work for the VA. So Frank, continue, stay with us, brother. If you're not subscribed, subscribe so you can continue to help us build this community and make sure no one else learns the hard way. What are you doing now? Thomas Ludwig says, just that, trying to build this community. Our team, my family, want people to have an easier transition and a very, very successful transition. Navy SEAL says, I'm catching the last few. I missed a couple. Used to be a sniper in some conditions. Did I miss where you are now? Did I ask you that? And are you still in? Are you still in the SEALs? Frank says, I was still with you're still with the community? Stay with the comm? Stay with us, Frank. Brother, please. Yeah. Navy SEAL, yes, you're still in? Still in. Did I ask where you were? We'd love to receive Navy SEALs input. I don't know if we've had any SEALs on here yet. M40A2, love the M40. Yeah. John, 3-3, America's Battalion. When were you with 3-3? John, I can't see it from here. No. Navy SEAL, you were with SEAL Team 6? Dang, recently? Any of the famous ones that we all know? I don't know anybody now. We got a job at Goodwill. Thomas, we got a job at Goodwill. Awesome. Another organization that we want to help support. BC, drop some names, buddy. And in fact, drop your name so we can see. John, I don't know how to say your last name, buddy. Iniquez? John J. 2016 to 21. Awesome. That keeps going off. Got a job at the Goodwill. Oh, awesome. Again, someone else that we would love to support. I hate Google. The company or using Google. All right. All right, we talked about the officer-enlisted relationship. We talked about the first deployment traditions. Talked about Memorial Day, something I always want to not end with because we still got some time to chat, but the leadership that transitions over. We talked about it a little bit, but right now in the community, I've been in the civilian sector now for a few years, about 10 years. And what I'm noticing is even from some prior service military, they're forgetting the basics. Leadership 101 is when I come across something that just seems so far out there, like I thought you were in the Marine Corps. Transparency, can we discuss this? Can we talk about it? Can you communicate with me about it? There's got to be a better way to our ultimate goal, mission accomplishment. And if we're not all on the same page, why is that? All boils down to leadership. The LINO we talked about, leadership in name only, or leader in name only, LINO. Sometimes, too many times, people get promoted or moved up to a position that they think it's over. I'm done. Now I'm in charge. Now I get the big office, the big desk, and I can just watch everybody work. When you get in those positions, your work just doubled, if not tripled. You don't have time off. You shouldn't have any time off. If the first time you complain about it is you're probably not in the right position then. With leadership comes more responsibility, not less. And it's all the things that you did working up to get into that position. So again, your work just doubled or tripled. You should be working extra hard. And then a communication piece. If you have good people leaving your unit, right? The other quote that I've mentioned many times, people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad leadership. So if you have a high turnover rate, why is that? If you have people complaining, and we all know a Marine's not happy unless he's bitching, right? That's a fact. Marines will, where you at, Lake Cook? You still on here? Happiest Marine I know. And he'll tell you. That's different. When it's complaints that are legitimate and they don't get addressed, something's wrong in the leadership. Every problem is a leadership problem. So if you hear it from more than one person and numerous times, there's got to come a time when you look into it and just don't dismiss it as that guy's just bitching. Find out. Discuss it. Thanks, Jared. Semper Fi, brother. I know you got my back. I was in HNS 3rd Battalion 24 Scout Sniper. Know a little bit about sniper rifles. Love you, Jared. Semper Fi, brother. Mark says, hey, I never said I was a SEAL because I'm not. I was a cook and nobody special. You kidding me? Mark, you were a cook? My favorite. I might have missed some stuff. On there. It's okay. But Mark, if you're a cook, you're my favorite in the field. Does it look like I ever turned down some food? I told you, friends you got to make as soon as you go to the field, cooks and supply. That's where you get all your stuff from. I'll do anything for the cooks. I used to offer to help the pot shack, cleaning pots, carrying out the vats, whatever it took. Don't piss off the cooks. Word of advice. John says, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps told us they want to keep USMC young. They like the high turnover rate. Unfortunately, no good leadership. That's interesting. Did the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps said that? He wants to keep the Marine Corps young? I didn't hear that. That's very interesting because where do we get our knowledge and experience from if everyone's new? John, a 3-3 Weapons Company Cat Platoon. What years, John? If I missed that, please let me know. Weapons Company, Bud's class number. You guys are handling that for me. Appreciate you. I told you I'll go to our description on the channel. We do have some stickers available. Yes, that's where you should see the one on my mug. So you can put them in anywhere. You have any other ones, Andy, nearby? This one will be out soon as well. We have the lanyards. I showed y'all the lanyards before, and the stickers in our description. We are on a little bit of vacation time right now, so but just to show you what we do have, and once we get back online, if anyone's interested, let us know. If you're interested in the comments, yes, that's Mad Dog Mattis right there. Hey, button it. If anyone wants that one, backbone of the Corps, look at them, Sergeant. Ebra. Find us on Instagram. We'll get you a sticker. Find us. First 3 people right now that message us on Instagram will get that sticker right there. Ebra. And you better be subscribed. Tell a friend. Mark says, I served on the USS Portland LSD 37 Marine Transport Ship. I've been on some LSDs, not the Portland. How was it? How'd they treat you? Feliciano Ortiz, love the show. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Love the cup, says Gary. No disrespect to you whatsoever, Mark. Appreciate you, Mark. First time joining you live, Ghost Toast. First time joining you live. Do you have any tips for newer Marines? Yes. Get after it. Don't stop. 1% better every day. No train, no gain. Never stop, never quit. No days off. Just a couple to start out. All cliches, I get it. But here's the thing. The volunteer one, I didn't realize how big of an impact that would make. You're volunteering, and you got to fight the peer pressure every now and then, because I know it's always cool to be one of those Marines who talk trash about the unit, talk trash about the Corps, being a tough guy, growing your hair out a little longer because you don't want to be a punk and be the high and tight guy volunteering for everything. That's what your leadership is looking for, because that's what you're going to want when you're a leader. You want that guy or girl, that Marine, to be the one volunteer, the fire and forget Marine. We talked about that yet? The one that you want to be able to count on. Of the leadership traits and principles, everyone, integrity is number 1, loyalty. Of all the leadership traits, dependability, in my opinion, is the most important. Because if I can depend on you, I can depend on you to have all the leadership traits and all the leadership principles. So be the dependable Marine that someone can call on you when they have a mission. Because it's going to be we already talked about some crap jobs every now and then, but there's also going to be some good things that come up. Boom, I just got a jump quota. Marines don't get jump quotas that often, especially if you're not infantry or some kind of special group or a high-ranking somebody. So that one time, if I'm a sergeant major and I get a quota, hey, you got 1 to jump school, I need a name in 30 minutes. Boom, that Marine that always volunteers, that's always there, never quits or gives up, the last one to leave the armory because he's cleaning up the Q-tips, just the initiative guy or girl. So that is my advice for newer Marines. Keep getting after it. Don't give in to the trying to hang out with the cool guys, unless they're good Marines. Never get outstayed as long as you can, Feliciano says. I agree with that too. I really do. And after a couple Iraqi deployments with 5th Marines, a couple back-to-back deployments. Don't feed the trolls, Jared. Let them go, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for having my 6. You got me when I'm not looking. They're trying to get me. Appreciate you, Jared. Semper Fi, brother. One of them stickers is for you. What was I talking about? Oh, so Marines were getting out of, right after we got back from our 2nd deployment to Iraq, back-to-back deployments, 5th Marines, retreat hell, but they had it. But a short time later, once, again, another workup, some leave time, and everyone got to kind of settle, let their hair down and relax and get back accustomed into being at home, they got out. And then they were trying to get back in. So that decision has to be weighed heavily. It's not easy to get back in. You think it would be, but it's not. It's a completely different process. It's not the same as enlisting. Much harder to get back in once you're out. So I don't even remember who said that, stay in as long as you can. That's my advice as well. 20 years, I did it. Oh, Feliciano, yeah, appreciate you. I was doing the math about your age. You join at 18, you do 20 years, that's a retirement. 20 years, you can retire at 38 years old. You realize how young that is? If you're 18 or 19 right now, it doesn't seem young, but it is. Trust me. 20 years, you have retirement, 50% of your pay, you can get all your benefits, use all your benefits, and start a new career. At 38, that's nothing. If you do 30 years, you'll still only be 48. Math for Marines. 48 is young. Now you get with 75% of your retirement pay, plus your disability, plus an ID card for the rest of your life. So commissary-based privileges. It makes sense, and the military has a great retirement system. Look into it, please. No. Lay Cookie, I missed it. Put it back up, Lay Cookie. Carlos, what's the clarity regarding real Marines phrases within the Marine Corps itself? What are your thoughts on that? Real Marines. Are you a real Marine? Like you're not a real Marine? Carlos, if that's what you're getting at. I know for the longest time, it has been said that Chesty Pulley said you're not a real Marine unless you get an NJP. I've never had an AJP, and I think I'm a real Marine. So that's the NJP. That's the barracks lawyers and the E4 Mafia and the Lance Corporal Underground. That's the shipbird way to say, I'm still a good Marine. I'm a better Marine because I was NJP'd. A real Marine to me, and do good Marines make mistakes? Yes. Lay Cookie, talked about him all the time. He made a few mistakes, one of the best Marines I know to this day. So that's a real Marine. If you're in it for the right reasons. If you're in it to, I don't want to say everybody has different reasons why they join. Remember, I didn't know anything about the Marine Corps before I joined. So I didn't join for all the reasons that I stayed, and the reasons that I'm still doing stuff like this now is different. Jared, Pogue versus other. Look at Chuck had an NJP. Are you a real Marine, Chuck? Even though you had an NJP? 100%. Jared, Pogue versus other. That's always a great topic. Pogue. Personnel other than grunt, the POG, or some people spell it different, Pogue, spelling out the word, Pogue. That was a pretty hot topic as well, the one that I did. I got 6 deployments, and I'm a tracker, and I got combat action ribbons. Am I a Pogue? Nothing to get upset about. That's the inner rivalry within the Marine Corps itself. Air wingers, Pogue. If you're not a grunt, you ain't. If you ain't a tracker, you ain't. The yat-yas, all those things are what keep Marines unique. We'll call it unique. And if we didn't have that inner service rivalry, we wouldn't be as tough as we are. It continues to fuel the fire, makes you want to be better. If you don't think your MOS is the best, something's wrong. You should back your unit, your MOS, whatever you're doing, you are the best. So the Pogue is just a smack talk amongst brothers. That's it. You nailed it. Jerry just talking trash. You mean to tell me since if you're not, only if you're not infantry, you're a Pogue? How many non-infantry Marines out there with combat action ribbons, multiple combat deployments, one team? John, Motor T, Red Patcher. Wow, you mark all the Pogue check marks. Love the Red Patchers. We still have those? You still wear the red patch? Took it off the covers, right? Do they still wear them on your camis? Red Patchers. Those are guys on the beach. Can't do without them. You're not going to know where to go. Motor T Red Patcher. Get some, John. I'm a bum that gave 110%, Chuck. You ain't no bum, brother. Leather neck, devil dog. Carl Green says, never Pogue, always a shellback, was a fleet Marine. Shellbacks, we didn't get a chance to talk about that. That's going over the equator on ship. Golden shellback, somebody remind me what that is if you know. Is it like the bolt lines, the equator and the time zone? I did become a shellback. Quick story time. we're on a ship. We were going to Tonga, the Kingdom of Tonga. So we had to cross the equator. I was on ship. The ship that came picked us up, everybody on ship already became shellbacks, all the sailors and some of the Marines. So when they picked me and a platoon up, we were going back across the equator. And that's important because the only ones who can thrash the polywogs, that's what you are before you're a shellback, you can only participate if you're already a shellback. So the entire ship and half of my company were shellbacks. So that just meant more people to thrash me and my boys. So I wasn't looking forward to it, dreading it. But I had to participate. I take it back. I could have not participated, but really, what kind of Marine would I be if I ducked out of it? But here's what I did. The closer we got to the equator, I start looking for some good hiding places because I'm talking trash now. I ain't afraid of that. You ain't gonna catch me. I ain't gonna be no polywog. So I was, for whatever reason, I was just making it worse on myself. I think I was looking forward to the pain. Here's the crazy thing. I did find a good, so it started at, I don't even remember what time of day it was, but it was dark already. So I was like, that's even better because it's when they darken ship. A lot of good places to hide on ship. So I managed to wedge myself behind these pipes in one of the breezeways, and some of the pipes were hot, I remember, and I shimmied myself in. I'm not a small guy, but I got so far back where I could see people walking by, I could hear them, but for some reason I could, because I looked at the place as I walked by. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna get back in there somehow. So I did. It took me a while to wedge myself back in there. And then they started over the PA, loudspeaker. All right, crossing the equator right now, let's go. We're starting the ceremony. All polywogs get up on the flight deck and they're gonna start. And it was some pretty crazy stuff, walking on hands and fours. We were on a leash, and I can't tell you all of it because it's some naval traditions that you gotta go through it on your own. But they start announcing that, all right, we're just looking for Corporal Cece. Where's Corporal Cece? We got to get him on the top deck. Find him right now. And it took a while, and I didn't move. Right now I'm holding my breath. I'm not moving at all, just in case anybody walked by and see me. Nothing. They were calling my name. Where you at? Where you at? It was funny for a little while. Then they became angry. Like, find them. All hands on ship. They like stopped the ship. Everyone. They came from the boiler room looking for me. And now I'm scared because now everybody's in on it and they want to beat the hell out of me. I know they are. And I holding out. And then the captain came on. All right, young man, you better come out now or we're not going to be able to, whatever. I don't even remember what he was saying. But I was like, a little longer, because there comes a point in time, like the break of dawn, I guess, I don't remember, but it had to end. But if I didn't go through the ceremony prior to it ending, I still would have remained a polywog. So the timing was very important. And now they're coming through the halls. Even my Marines are like, you better come out right now. I order you to get out right now. It was getting nasty. Finally, I was like, oh, and it got quiet. As soon as it got quiet in the breezeway that I was in, that's when it took me a while to even shimmy myself out, and my neck was sore and I couldn't barely walk. The captain, over the loudspeaker, he you know, every section of the ship has a name and a TAC number. He knew exactly where I was. He called it over the loudspeaker, and there was, I mean, they couldn't even fit in the breezeway, the amount of sailors and Marines that were there to snatch me up. And all the rest of it is a blur till I get up on the flight deck. And, you know, the flight deck's got that rough surface. My elbows and knees and hands were all tore up. And I went through the entire ceremony and became a shellback and have the certificate to prove it. And again, I'm not going to go into the details because of the history and traditions behind it, but I am a full-fledged shellback. Not a golden shellback. If anyone commented on that, yes, Davy Jones Locker, 5 times or more, that's how you become a golden shellback? Awesome. Once was enough for me. And it did involve a gigantic Navy chief and a cherry, and that's all I'll tell you. Awesome. Love the tradition of the Navy. They have some awesome traditions. Some shipmates. Chuck Abel says, just do your job. Initiative. Take responsibility. Don't worry about the pros and cons. Chicken has origins. Chicken! All right, good to see you, brother. Where you been? Know some burpees also. Good NCOs will take care of you. Chuck Abels, nailed it. Very well said. Brother, do your job. Remember what I said earlier, don't try and game the game. Do your job, work hard, right? Are you gonna get a pat on the back all the time? Maybe not. Do you need it? As long as you know you're doing your job. Big O, Sergeant Major Olea always says, always do the right thing, you'll never go wrong. Hurrah. COA Sergeant Major in blood. I'm not following, not tracking you, Jared. Mark, hello. Hard, aha, the royal fat baby. Shellback. Yes, that was a cherry. And I think there was some chocolate pudding involved in part of that as well. All right, that's enough. That's enough. You got to figure it out. Birdman, Semper Fi Sergeant Major, how is church and boot camp? Great question. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning, and unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say I never went to church and boot camp. I was working out. I was trying to do the drill instructors around me. I had to work. I was the guide at the time, so you're going to stay here and work on the stick. They never said I couldn't go, but I had a feeling if I did go to church, I would be paying for it when I came back. Will you plug this in, please? So it is a regret of mine that I didn't join because the recruits that came back thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, it was a break. I went, so it was nice. It was AC inside there, so I know they enjoyed that as well. Oh, you got it, Jared. Certificate of authenticity. Amen. I do have it framed somewhere. It's not up on the wall, but it should be. And I do like when I see shellbacks that have theirs posted up on the wall. So, Birdman, are you getting ready to go? Remind me of your story if you're going soon, if you're shipping out soon. Some great chat, great comments. Love the community. Appreciate everyone's support. Yeah, talked about a few different things, and it's, July 23rd. All right, Birdman, July 23rd. That's right around the corner. Brother, you ready? You've been following us. You've been tracking. What is your graduation date? July 23rd. Yes, that's the day you ship off, July 23rd, July, August, so September something. Birdman, you ready? You got any questions for the group before we take off? Jared, just saying your proof was in the blood. Amen. And San Diego or Paris Island? Birdman. Birdman, you'll be able to attend, but you better keep your bearing because your drill instructors see everything. Yes, drill instructors have eyes in the back of their head. When was boot camp for you? Platoon number 3106, yellow footprints touchdown, date 9301. So January 93, that's you went David Morris, Semper Fi, my friend, 3rd Battalion, San Diego. Again, and Birdman, where are you going, San Diego or Paris Island? But that's great advice, Chicken. You'll be able to attend better. You're talking about church. But keep your bearing because, again, there are, the DIs go to church. That was Chicken was answering your question about church. Yes, the DIs are in church watching you, making sure you're getting it. Caruso, 3041 Lima. Mark, since I took care of the Marines, can I be honorary Marine, Sergeant Major? Chaps and Corpsmen definitely are part of the Marine Corps. You are devil dogs. Birdman, I'm ready, sir. Paris Island. I went up to Montgomery Friday to confirm I was good to go. Paris Island in the summer. Good luck. In July. Yes. It's going to be hot, muggy. Be prepared. Dave Morris, MCRD, San Diego, era, Hollywood Marine. Get your sunglasses and sunscreen with the rest of us, era. Max, era. 3026 Kilo, Killer Kilo. Golf Company, says Carl. Chuck, 1057 San Diego, 1976, Chuck. Hurrah. Awesome. Chicken said the poor bastard. Birdman. It's going to be hot. Sand, fleas, and sweat, says David Morris. Sounds fun. Make sure you better keep us posted as soon as you get back. Let us know how it was. Bryce says, went to the cemetery today, Bryce. There was a marker for Corporal USMC who died at the age of 27 and 63. Visited for Memorial Day, Bryce. Good on you, brother. Good to see you. Birdman says he's excited and nervous, but ready to get your butt kicked and kick butt, take names, brother. Just go for it every single day. Leave it all on the field, as Vince Lombardi would say. Get after it. Definitely check in. Yes, let us know, Birdman, as soon as you get back. Birdman, 357, definitely give you a shout out. Caruso is telling you it's going to be a culture shock. 100%. I don't care how much you prepare for it. We talked about that. You can tell somebody every single minute, every single day of boot camp what it's like, every single experience. But unless you go through it, or until you go through it, you'll never know the feeling. The smells, the sounds, the sights. The best advice I can give is that they can't mess with you forever. So always be a stopping point, even though it doesn't feel like it. Do your best. A lot of you, people have said it before too, I would, again, my goals were to make it to the next meal. That's how I kind of judged the days. I had to bust ass as much as I could because they had to stop for chow. We had to stop for lunch, we had to stop for dinner, and lights out, go at a certain time. So although sometimes it feels like time has stopped, they can't stop time. Drone instructors are pretty amazing. They can do some wild things, but they can't stop time. So you will graduate. Appreciate the advice, guys. Birdman, yes. I'll be back here with the title Marine, our world's finest. Get some, Birdman. Stay with us until you ship out. You still got some time. Jared, advice, don't kick your own butt mentally. Well said, Jared, right? Don't get in your own head, because you can like talk yourself out of stuff and like to quit or give up. Don't get in your own head. Child to child, Sunday to Sunday, Caruso at Ra. That was me too, buddy. Same. Ronnie Miller, good evening, Devil Dogs and Devil Docs. Ronnie Miller, good to see you, brother. Chicken, I'll be happy to call you one, Birdman. William Davis, shoot. Good to see you, brother. Is it? So again, Sunday, we've never done a live on a Sunday before, so I'm so glad so many of you joined us. Appreciate it. This has been fun. It's been good. That's why I do maybe Sundays. We're still going to try and stick to our normal schedule that we kind of just created, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays and Saturdays. Try to pop one up here and there, maybe every now and then, depending on what we have going on. But I guess let's ask, how do y'all feel about Sunday? Is Sunday better than Saturdays? Saturday's kind of right in the middle of the weekend. Is Sunday better? Let us know what you think about Sundays. Chicken, mail call to mail call. Same. Those of you who are going soon, or anyone that has someone going to, write letters. Write as many letters as you can. There's nothing better than hearing your name called for a mail call. And there's, at the same time, nothing worse than not having your name called during mail call. So write letters, write letters, write letters. And know that your Marine is busy. He or she doesn't have enough time. If they're writing 10 letters a night, they're not working hard enough. They got other things to do. So those of you on the receiving end, be patient with them. 1 or 2 letters, you should be happy. Caruso says, I have a question for you. I got out this past November and I've been struggling to find a purpose again. Any advice? I got out as a meritorious corporal and had my TS clearance, so you still got it. Update that clearance. Don't let it expire, first and foremost. Write that down right now. Don't let that clearance expire, no matter how much you have to pay. So the struggle of finding a purpose. That's why we're here, brother. That's exactly why we're here. We all have gone through that, or if you haven't yet, anyone out there, you will go through that. I struggled hard with it bad. So I know exactly where you're coming from. And again, that is exactly what this community is. Well, that's why we're trying to build it. So reach out, Brother Caruso, reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram, and we can talk, because, and we're going to start talking about it more and more. You have a purpose while you're in, no matter what rank you are, you have a purpose every single day. A lot of times though, we get focused, get the blinders on, and don't see past that. And then when you're put to that test of, okay, we're taking this away from you, you are now out, hang your uniform up, what's your purpose? So it's a great question, and I didn't even know to ask that question. I didn't even know that's what my problem was, that I didn't have a purpose anymore. So it is tough, and we will talk about it more. But definitely reach out so we can hit you up sooner rather than later, and then we'll start to work on it ASAP. November's not that long ago, brother. So yes, it's hitting you. We know, we want to help. So allow us in. Chicken Birdman, mail is in the evening, but I go a few days before you'll go a few days before you get mail for the first time. William Davis, don't have your family address, your letters as private. You are a recruit. Good tip, William. Great tip, unless you want to mess with your Marine. And I may have done that a few times. My daughter may have gotten some surprise letters in the mail that got her some special attention. So give it some time though. Make sure your Marine is doing well before you play any games. But yes, you're a recruit. URAH. Carl Green, still maintaining uniforms. As am I, right? They kind of shrink a little bit in your closet. Somehow get closetitis, and next time you put those uniforms on, for some reason they shrunk a little bit. So get after it. Keep eating. Are evil grunts a thing of the past? Yes. No. Evil grunts? Yes, there's grunts out there. Some good, some bad. Caruso says, I got a job working at the Navy base, utilized my clearance and making triple what I did as a corporal. Yes. I just feel lost and without a purpose. Working with the Navy is nothing like Marines. Caruso, we are here for you, brother. This is your family. We got you. Feels like all the money means nothing. You're not money driven, even better. We got you, brother. I promise you, we're going to get you on track, get your mind right, and continue to motivate you. We've been there, and anyone in the channel has been there. They might, hopefully nobody, we got you. Trust me when I tell you, look at me, I got your back. We'll take care of you. It's so glad you're here. Chicken definitely got a Marine Corps tattoo before going to boot camp. Told you my story. Yes. Don't do that. Don't get a Marine Corps tattoo before you go. It didn't work out well for me. Lesson learned the hard way. Birdman, were you guys able to sleep the first week? I've heard stories that people were so shocked they couldn't sleep. A little of both. Some you're going to be so exhausted they keep you up for like 3 days, the first 3 days anyway, for a couple of reasons, because the whole process of the processing and medical and dental and all the paperwork. So you're going to be moving around, getting up early, a couple hours of sleep here and there. So by the time you do hit your training company platoon, you should be dead tired. I slept like a baby. I don't remember sleep being an issue. It was waking up was the hard part. But you're going to see all kinds of, you're going to hear some cries. Some people, kids are going to cry. Kids are going to try to leave. There's fire watch. It's a culture shock. So be prepared physically and mentally. What helped me was keeping my motivation for becoming a Marine constantly in my mind when things got tough. Had the mindset of success being the only option. Don't let failure even come to your mind. Success is the only option. Failure is not. Know that you can do it. You gotta let them break. You gotta let them break you a little bit. Yep. And another thing, another Marine friend of mine who got in a lot of trouble, he'd always tell me, they ain't breaking me, they're making me. Right? They're gonna break you a little bit, but don't get broke. They're making you a Marine. Chuck says, heck yes, I slept when they allowed me. I don't remember going to sleep being a problem ever. Okay, again, if you're busting your butt all day, every day, and you're putting forth as much as you can, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to go to sleep. We try to take a nap, and you'll get naps whenever you can. A lot of times when you're not supposed to. You're going to sit in a nice, comfortable classroom in the theater, and you're going to be receiving classes that you should be taking notes on. You're not going to have trouble sleeping at all. Don't fall asleep in any of those classes. Make sure you stand up. You'll get yelled at. Oh, you can't stay awake. You'll get yelled at for standing up. But you'll get thrashed if you fall asleep. And you're going to miss the information. So don't do it. Great info. Great topics. Great subject. Great content. Appreciate all of you. I will. Crusoe used to smell Germ-X during the classes to stay awake. Somebody else said that about the hand sanitizer. That's what they said. Used to sniff it to help them stay awake. I guess as long as you don't need it. Super helpful. Might not be healthy, but it works. Again, whatever you got to do, whatever it takes to stay awake. Don't fall asleep when you're not supposed to. You have time for sleep. Get after it. You have some fire watch every now and then. But it seems impossible at times when you're going through boot camp, but clearly it's not. About 500 Marines graduate every weekend, every Friday. That's on each coast. So you got it. You can do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want the sticker, remember, go to Instagram. Go to Instagram. As soon as you can, message me. First you'll get one. We'll announce it on our next live. Appreciate all of you. Have a great evening. God bless you all. And take a moment tomorrow during Memorial Day to never forget. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.